back to Bane of Morgoth Miniatures. As always, I'm endeavoring into some new and exciting territory. This one is going to be, can I freehand a tree right here on this bad boy? So what I want to do to start that is I'm going to, can't believe I'm saying it, I'm going to draw a circle is the start, and we're going to be winging it today a little bit, and I think that makes it more fun when we're at the edge of our ability. So one edge of my circle is going to be out to here. Another edge is going to be out to here. That makes the bottom right about here, and the top right about there. So a normal person would sketch this out with, you know, a pencil. But instead, I want to just throw myself into it. So that's what I'm going to do. And if my circle's a little more square than it is round, the world will not end. Everything will be fine. The shape of this also does not help with making it feel round. And I also think I'm a little pointy. When freehanding, it's not terrible, to be honest. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I want to make sure we don't do that. Kind of sketch out what we're aiming for. He's a little lumpy, but now that we've sketched it out, we can kind of help with this process. We know that's going to be the bottom of the curve. So as we add some thickness to this line, if we do it well, it'll start to correct the feeling that this isn't as round as it should be. And I'll be the first to say, when it comes to some of this more particular work, a lot of it I throw myself into and kind of learn how to tread water in the process. And that's what I'm doing here. It's always more fun to do freehand over something you've worked on, especially in another video, and where people are going to go, wow, I liked it how it was, and you're going to go, that's fine. I don't have a lot of impulse control, and I need to always be adding things. Not a bad circle for just kind of winging it. Now I want to do a tree in this circle, so I need to make the center line true to this. So I know that the middle of this is going to be spaced out pretty strongly. Okay, that's the middle of my tree. or a trunk. Dun dun dun, for those of you who are following along. That was an elephant pun. And now as I kind of work out from this space, I'm once again going to sketch thoughts and hopefully avoid this looking like an octopus with a really fat body, a really long body, I should say. But only time will tell. If we shall have a tree or an octopus. So far, we're, I think, firmly in the it's an octopus category. But that's okay. We'll get away from that here shortly. As we start to do these branchos. I don't think I'm going to do anything too crazy here. I'm going to start to draw swirls. And then attempt to draw the same swirl on the opposite side. Now as for tips on freehanding, as someone who purely dabbles, one of the things I learned from watching a bunch of videos about it is the idea of making sure you're drawing with the thinnest lines you can, because you can always thicken a line up. Thinning it down, especially when you've done some sort of dynamic pattern work, as I have, makes it much trickier. Also, maybe after doing a few hours of car repair, this is not the best time for a steady hand of freehanding. But the show must go on. Taking on a little bit of Celtic energy here, I think, and I'm, let's say, not against it. So we aimed for tree and we ended up with, well, some swirlies. And I kind of like it. The next step is going to be a bit determining on what our end result will look like. So now that we have this mapped out in black, not too bad for a 10-minute freehand. Maybe we want to get a little crazy here and do some dots. Oh yes, truly insane. Adds that blank space there. Now what I want to do is get some gray and really work it into the brush well so that I can draw some finer lines here. My goal is to instill some upward facing texture into this. However, the black is running, this gray is going to run alongside it and highlight it. But an important piece of that is I'm choosing a consistent side on which to highlight. And this overall is going to add some depth to the piece. It's a little rough right now. But we will have a final highlight of a touch lighter gray. Bring it even more together. I think this might be the first time I've brought you guys a wet palette that is messy. When I film tends to be my clean out day for my palette. But I needed these colors because I had them from last time. So I did not. You guys gotta deal with the grime. I think there's a hashtag super polished YouTuber in there somewhere. So I think this real time will also give you an idea of how fast I'm moving through this. As in how long it takes, not look at me, I'm quick, but also the nature of how often I'm kind of resetting my brush. Maybe I'm resetting it too much. I found the moment it stops interacting the way I need it to, I should reset. And also I would recommend not using paint that's too old, because it'll interact differently and act differently than newer paint. Fresh paint, you might say, as a intelligent person, instead of newer paint. my brush is not interacting how I want it to, so we're gonna do what I recommended. We're gonna make a ton of noise, which is great for people watching videos. And then we're gonna get new paint out, because that was starting to get frustrating. So why dabble around when it's a dot of paint you need? Just go get it. And I want to pick I don't want to redo everything I did before with the other gray. I just want to pick out the highlights of it. So we're just interacting with the shapes. That are already a part of our piece here. Trying to avoid just breathing into the mic for you all, as that is one of my major pet peeves, is when you make a phone call and then the person on the other end is just breathing into the mic while you're trying to talk or think. It's a top 10 would not recommend. Do not pass go, do not collect 200 coins. So, maybe a bit messy, but maybe Intaro Grush here hand drew it on, and he's more of a warrior than he is a painter. I mean, look at them stubby fingers. He's gonna have a lot of trouble painting there. You can also go back and come through and touch up anywhere you think especially needs to be more black and less of your accent colors. So the trunk, I think, would be a big one for me. Just kind of liven up some of those areas. All right. Oh, one spot I missed. I jammed my brush into my white palette. There we are. Well, did this turn out exactly how I was intending it to? All the shapes are right there, all the elements are there. Doesn't look like an octopus, at least. That's a good start. But I think it's important that oftentimes we're going to go in with a mission and we might come out with something a touch different than what we had in mind. I think sometimes being a perfectionist, it's really the enemy of getting things done and enjoying things as well. If you want everything to be perfect and have no little errors, or it all had to be exactly in your mind's eye, then that's fine. You might just spend more time repainting and touching up on things than you did actually getting to paint. There, a little more shimmer to it. That adds a lot, I think, actually. So if you're here and you're with me, there's a level of moving forward is important for me. And I like this little tree. Well, thank you so much for hanging out. That's going to be all. Here's a quick look at Mr. Little Elephant. His shield is ready, but I've set myself up for a wonderful kerfuffle trying to do a tree on that little shield. Maybe I'll show that at next video. But for now, thanks for watching and have a good night. Bye.